Hello and welcome, this is Mercenary, and we're back with some more BattleTech. In the last video, we completed a priority mission, and as a result, we're rewarded with the Argo, this big ship here, and we now have to take a look at it. So I noticed some new interface things here. First thing I do want to check, though, is the mech bay. So let's go ahead and hop into mech bay. Okay. Not sure how different this is, but let's go ahead and take a look at our mechs here, as I do believe we have some repairs to do. And the current situation right now, we don't have enough mechs to run with. So probably the first priority we should do is repair the Jenner, which shouldn't take too long. Yeah, 3 days. That's not too bad. So we'll repair that. And I'm going to go ahead and manage the task to send that Jenner up a tick, just so that we get that done first. We also have to refit the Shadowhawk, as it lost a couple different body sections. A torso section and an arm section. So replace, replace. And we have to place the things that were lost. So first thing we'll take a look at is the AC-5. Now I can upgrade that to this better AC-5. And the main reason I didn't do that before, because it would have taken me time and we really couldn't afford that time. But at the moment, we can do this no problem. And if I ever want to check, okay, so all three of these systems end up in the left torso, the ones that were stripped here. So I am also noticing that there are messages that are delivered over the PA system. I'm just going to ignore those, as it's really just background noise. But since we have gotten this new ship, that's kind of something we've gotten along with it. And we need to go to equipment to get ourselves a jump jet, and we should be ready to go at that point. So let's go ahead and... Sorry, but I like to have a little bit of symmetry here, and I like to have the jump jets aligned. All right. Let's go ahead and confirm this. So this is going to take 17 days, which isn't too bad considering we had to replace both the left torso and the left arm. I wonder with this bigger ship if we repair things quicker. Maybe. So, all right, let's go ahead and do that. A lot of money, though.
On it. I'll let you know when that's done.
Okay, so the Shadowhawk, I think it's all right that we have that a little further back. Honestly, I'd prefer to have that, in use, but I kind of want the Centurion first. But as we can see, we have a 20-day timeline before we're really going to be in a situation. All right, well, while we're here, and those messages are a little distracting, let's go ahead and talk to Yang here, because I am sure we have new things to talk about with him. So the main thing is probably just going to be the one line that most of these guys are going to have. So how are you liking the new ship? Love it. She's a big old ship, Commander. This bucket can carry more tonnage than I know what to do with. And the mech bay? Man, the mech bay. Do you have any idea how tough it is to refit a mech on a Leopard? Other mech techs won't even try it. You've got no room to maneuver, no room to do anything. The odds of getting killed in some horrific industrial accident go right through the roof. I guess what I'm trying to say is that I like the new ship, and I especially like the fact that it isn't my job to keep her flying anymore. I guess that puts Lady Urano in my good graces, which is rare for a wannabe Empress. Lord Madeira too. Hell, even Centrella. As long as they let us keep the Argo, they're all fine with me. Okay, well, I like the ship too. All right, let's get back to things.
Come back anytime.
And we might as well go over these story things as well. So let's go ahead and... Well, let's pop in the store. I don't remember. Did we look at the store on this system? All right, no mechs. We do have an AC-10, so if we wanted another one, we could pick it up here. It looks like all the autocannons are available. Got an upgraded LRM-10. Let's see what the attributes here are. So stability, damage, and critical. An upgraded LRM-20, looks like crit chance. A small laser, again crit chance. SRM-6. Oh, that's just straight up damage upgrade. That's very tempting. There's 2 of those too. And then this one is just crit chance. Well, straight damage upgrade seems pretty damn good. We've got the money. I'll go ahead and buy a couple of these.
New weapon systems.
There are 2, so I'll buy both of them. Okay, let's keep going down the list. Okay, jump jets. What does the letter grade mean here? So you have A, H, and S. All right, well, I guess I might as well read it. So jump jet, funnel, superheated. Is it the same description for everything? Yeah. Doesn't say it has bonuses on... Oh, I get it. Assault, heavy, and standard. Okay. At first, I was wondering what the letter grade meant. In the tabletop game, the main difference is going to be the weight. So a heavy mech is going to... The jump jet's on that. It's going to do the same thing, but it's going to weigh more. Same thing with the assault. That's pretty much the difference. At first, I just didn't understand what the AH and S meant. All right, moving on. Okay, just ammo. Okay.
Quite a step up from the Leopard, isn't it? I've got to hand it to Dr. Murad. This Argo is a hell of a ship.
All right, so let's go ahead and talk to Darius first, because that one's going to be just a little bit quicker and easier. Okay. Said that you knew Mastiff? That you'd fought by his side. I feel like we've done this one before. I did have that privilege, yes. I didn't know him as well as you did, of course, but we were together in the trenches of that campaign, and I raised a glass with Sir Raju and the canteen on more than one occasion. Okay, yeah, this is new. When you think of the old man, what jumps into your mind? Family. The old man was so damn proud of his family and heritage, there wasn't a drop of noble privilege in his veins, but the Montgomery name carried weight. Hard as nails since the dawn of time, his father used to tell him. Those were his family words and personal creed, and I can personally attest to their accuracy. When we were fighting alongside the Royal Guard on the campaign, a pirate-driven hunchback managed to flank us. Decker was piloting a Locust at the time, and the bastard took its left leg clean off. The Locust went down hard, and Decker blacked out. He was a dead man. There was nothing we could do to keep that hunchback from putting a foot through his cockpit, and it would have if Mastiff hadn't come charging in with his Centurion. His first punch took the hunchback's main gun clean off. He was totally matter-of-fact about it. It wasn't a desperate swing or a panic move. He just calmly put his fist into the pirate mech's weapon pod, grabbed it, and wrenched it free from its moorings. It was like, I don't know, like watching a farmer uproot a tree stump. You know, workmanlike. And all the while, we could hear the pirate over an open channel screaming and cursing as he desperately tried to fight back. The old man took that hunchback apart, piece by piece. Imagine a veteran prizefighter locked in a cage with a snot-nosed kid, with no rules or referees in sight. He put on a clinic for everyone to see. The rest of the pirates broke rank and fled when they saw what had happened to their friend. Can't say I blame them. In their place, I'd have done the same. That's what the Montgomerys were. Warriors for as long as anyone could remember. Born to fight and tempered on the battlefield. And Sir Raju was the last. Never had any children, you know. The Montgomery line died with him. And did he ever show you that enormous knife he used to carry? The kukri? Yeah. Don't see too many of those outside the Free Worlds League. These days, kukri blades are mostly associated with the 4th Regulan Hussars. SARS. Not Mastiff's, though. He claimed that he'd inherited the bladed beauty from his grandfather, who'd inherited it from his grandfather. And so on, all the way back to the family's origin on Terra. During the campaign, I saw him use that blade against a pirate twice his size. Split the bastard's skull like a rotten cantaloupe. It was horrifying and beautiful all at once. You don't see that kind of skill every day. I wonder what happened to that old blade of his. It wasn't with him on Weldry. The old man must have felt like he'd lost a piece of himself when the directorate took it away. Alright, thanks for the talk. Yeah, Mouse, I'd like that, and so I think would he. Okay, well, that's it for him.
You know where to find me.
Let's move on to this guy. I don't know how much new conversation we're gonna have with him, but let's see. Commander Gunner, welcome to my corner of the command center. From here, I can provide Mr. Oliveira with advice and information whenever he needs it. I want to be a resource for you as well. In keeping with my role as restoration liaison, I will give you whatever additional information I can about our campaign moving forward. Come see me after any major operation, and I'll share whatever I can. Okay, I'd like to discuss the state of our war against the Directorate. I have a feeling that this is going to refresh, and he's just going to give us a new update every so often. I'd actually like to know. Things are going well enough, Commander. Our initial attack on Weldry was an enormous success, despite the psychological costs of what we've discovered there. Still, the Directorate's atrocities have steeled our resolve. I've never seen Lady Arano so determined. Out of curiosity, Commander Gunner, what did you think of her speech? I recorded it, you know. Broadcasts are on their way to every corner of Directorate space. I'm not really much of a speechwriter, so... I mean, I agree with this. I mean, honestly, if I were to be totally honest with what I'm seeing in the campaign or the story so far, it seems very black and white. And I don't know if it's going to continue with that, but... Okay. It was good. She said what the people wanted to hear. You think they bought it? I mean, honestly, I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to say this. This seems kind of like not the right thing. We'll just say this, I guess. Hopefully, she meant every word she said. You're right to raise the question, though. Espinosa's propaganda machine will do everything in its power to tarnish our accomplishments and drag us through the dirt. I can imagine the headlines now. Police and civil servants cut down by weapons of war. Dangerous convicts set loose by a traitor. Endangering nobles and commoners alike. A dangerous narrative, and one that we'll have to counter at every turn. I'm sure we'll have our own propaganda as well. With luck, many of our people will believe that what they've heard and our broadcast over the Directorate's propaganda, but I fear that Espinosa's hardline supporters will be far less eager to listen. If we fail to turn them against the Directorate, we run the risk of ongoing violence even after we liberate their home systems. That's why messages like Kameo's speech are so important. Alright, I'll say this. I'm not going to say that. Espinosa's supporters just saw the conditions on Weldry with their own eyes. You don't think that that'll be enough to sway them? Some will be moved by our message, yes, but others will continue to embrace the Directorate's lies. These are people who have benefited from Espinosa's policies. They won't jump to condemn a system that has lined their pockets with wealth, and they won't want to feel complicit in its crimes. Capturing their loyalty will be a long, hard battle. We won't win it overnight. Oh, I have to say this. Alright. Sadly, yes. If we're going to win this war, we need to rally the Regan people, including a percentage of Espinosa's supporters. They have to see that we're better than the Directorate, again and again, until our message is impossible to ignore. For you, that means military victories. For me, it means more broadcasts, spin, and outreach. Public opinion is just another battlefield, and I'll be knee-deep in the trenches until the day I die. Alright, I guess we move on to the next dialogue topic. You're new on this crew, so tell me about yourself. I'd be happy to, but honestly, Commander, I've been so consumed with matters of war of late that I wouldn't even know where to begin. Alright, tell me about who you were before Kamea's exile and restoration. And the restoration. A noble scion, much the same as you were, from what I understand. As a fellow noble, I'm sure that you already know more than most about my upbringing. It was a life of great privilege and even greater expectation. I spent my early years invested in academic pursuits, the study of history, mathematics, and statecraft. I strove to excel at every subject, anything to avoid disappointing my mother and father. The extent to which they would come to disappoint me is a cruel irony, but it's one that I've come to accept. Okay, what kind of expectations did you have to meet? You know House Madeira's motto? Behold our splendor. It had a familial obligation to live extravagantly and to do so within the public eye, but I was also expected to develop my intellect. My life was a 50-50 split between carousing and academic study. In truth, it felt like I was leading two lives and putting on a show in both, but I'll never complain about my upbringing. I have enjoyed advantages that most children of the periphery could only dream of. Okay, parents betraying you. Oh, it is. Nothing could be harder. When Kamea retakes her throne, there will be a reckoning, and Directorate collaborators will be tried for their crimes. My mother and father will be at the front of that list, and as terrible as it feels to say it, they'll deserve whatever punishment they receive. Alright, well, I think that's everything from him. Oh. No, that's not... Okay, we've got this. Okay, tell me about Goldra. What kind of world is it? I'm guessing that's where he's from. Okay, well, also, your apologies are unnecessary. By any metric you care to mention, I've lived a charmed life. The hardships of the past 3 years don't erase the lifetime of privilege I enjoyed before Espinosa's coup. It would be dishonest of me to pretend that they did. But still, I'm happy to change the subject if you wish. Okay, let's ask about the world I guess he's from. A truly beautiful one. You should really travel there sometime after all of this is over and see it for yourself. That is, if we don't burn it. Imagine lush, green lowlands giving way to mile upon mile of white sand coastline. Sandy beaches kissed by warm, salty seas. And soft rain perfumed with saffron and cardamom. And that's not to mention the wildlife. Close your eyes and imagine it, Commander. Shield turns, wheeling and soaring, their brilliant plumage glittering in the sunlight. Leviathan sablefish flashing silver beneath the waves, dolphinfish leaping, breaching the surface of the water, and riotous streaks of yellow and green. Places like Goldra are special, Commander Gunner. They must be preserved. This is what we're fighting for, something unspoiled and unique and ours. Something that reminds us how good the periphery can be. Alright. And that is it for him. Okay, let's move on down the list. Do we have any mech warriors injured? I think we just have the one. Do we want to do any leveling up and things? Why not?
Commander.
So Decker has quite a bit of experience now. Let's go ahead and get him going down the tactics line, so he can kind of figure out what all this is about. So confirm.
Training confirmed, Commander.
So you get a cold shot bonus. Interesting. So in a way, having him as a gunner probably would have made a little bit of sense. Or having gunners focus on this skill tree. For example, glitch. Now that we have glitch with these two skills, which I think are important, probably these two lines, tactics and gunnery, are going to be the most important for her. So do we take this now or do we wait? I think we take it now. Why not?
Mech warrior training complete.
I shouldn't be doing this now, I just realized, though, because we have our finance happening in 2 days.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you aren't going to level up. And I don't get paid, so it doesn't matter if I level up. Alright, well, I want to level up piloting, because that max evasion really helps for the hit-and-run tactics that I am trying to do.
Training complete.
Granted, I don't know if this is a very valid tactic in this game, but I'm going to do it anyway because that's what I want to do. I'm going to go ahead and get my tactics up as well.
Training confirmed, Commander.
Okay, so we're more or less done with that. Let's move on. We already did the mech bay. Engineering, I kind of want to do last, so let's go over to navigation and just talk to Sumaira here.
How can I be of service?
This definitely looks different. Commander Gunner, what's up? Okay. Most of these are, I think, are the same. I mean, I am assuming this is the same. Yeah. So it's just going to be this one line here. What do you think of the Argo? Gonna be able to fly this beast? She's different. Piloting her won't be a problem, but I can't say I'm happy about living on a piece of laws tech. Too many question marks for my taste. That said, I get the necessity. The Leopard is just too damn small. Anyway, as long as we're able to restrain ourselves from pushing any mysterious buttons, we should be okay. That's what I keep telling myself anyway. And life aboard the Argo should continue to improve as Dr. Murad brings new sections of the ship online, which we're going to be seeing, I think, in a minute. So we've got that to look forward to. Okay. Yeah, you got that right. I'm going to fix this bucket up the first chance I get. Sounds like a plan to me. Can't wait to see what you do with the place. Personally, I'm rooting for a day spa, but I'm easy. I'll take what I can get. Okay, well, that's it for that. All right, let's now head into the new ship section, which is engineering. Let's just take a look at it first. Okay. Let's talk to Farah here.
What you need?
Commander Gunner, what can I do for you? Okay. I'm going to assume we get a little bit of tutorial from her. We've got a lot of things here. I have some questions for you about this ship. That's probably where we're going to get our tutorials. Let's start with this. Touching up the Argo must have been an enormous job. How'd you do it? Oh, it wasn't just me. I had a team working under me. Over 200 of Lyreton's most accomplished engineers, electricians, and shipwrights. It was really pretty amazing, I've got to say. Shouting through a megaphone at a team of hundreds, watching them hang on my every word. You ever managed a team that big before? Never in my wildest dreams. Prior to my life at the Lyreton shipyard, the biggest team I'd ever managed was the crew I had with me on Exilius, and they all got killed. This job went a lot better than that one did, by the way. Only 3 deaths across the entire project, and before you ask, none of them was my fault. There was an accident with one of the industrial cranes, and well, it was horrible. I pray for their souls. It went off the rails in a pretty big way, didn't it? Sorry about that. I guess I'm still in a little bit of shock from our time on Exilius. I'm having a hard time getting what I saw there out of my mind. Well, that's neither here nor there. We were talking about the ship. Is there something else you'd like to know? I guess we have this choice. Let's ask how much it cost. Oh, it wasn't Lady Urano. The payments came directly from House Centrella. That was a figure of speech. They were indirect payments, of course, routed through countless intermediaries to obscure where the money was coming from. But yeah, the Centrellas paid for it. Now, as to how much the Centrellas paid, I honestly have no idea. I'm sure the figure was astronomical, but still, cheaper than getting dragged into an unwanted war, eh? If this ship turns out to be as important as Lady Urano thinks it will, then it was money well spent. Okay, let's talk about something else. And I guess we're going to get on to the tutorials. I have some questions for you about this ship. Yes, Commander, of course. Ask me whatever you'd like to know. Okay, what can you tell me about the Argo? A fair amount, Commander. I've been researching the ship for several months. Boeing Interstellar produced just 2 of these beauties back in 2762. And to remind you, this is 3025. They were intended to follow behind the first wave of exploratory missions, supporting multiple surveyor, terraformer, and colonizer teams on deep survey missions. Although she's far too large to land on a planet, her docking collar system allows for smaller dropships like your Leopard to come along for the ride. The Argo is a mobile space station in a sense, providing supply and temporary habitation for teams on dangerous missions in unsettled space. Okay. I kind of already know the answer to this, but why don't we see more ships like this, like the Argo out here? The Argo is the product of her era. She lacks the armor or maneuverability to function in battle, and she's vastly outclassed in size and firepower by even the smallest warships. She's a peacetime ship meant for peacetime exploration duties and planned with a focus on long-term orbital deployment. It was her non-combat design that ultimately led to her abandonment. In an earlier era, she might have seen widespread usage, but the fall of the Star League and the near constant state of war we've endured since then has rendered the Argo little more than a forgotten experimental footnote in the history of dropship production. Sad, really. In her own way, the Argo represents the back seat that science and exploration have taken in pursuit of military goals. Okay? Exploration vessel or no, she sounds ideal for our purposes. She is, and with 57,000 tons of cargo space, she has all the room we need for supplies, spare equipment, personnel, you name it. In fact, her hold is so vast that we'll have no trouble storing as many mech chassis and partial mech salvage as you can get your hands on. Okay, well, we could have technically done that before in storage, but this now makes it make sense more. All right, let's talk about something else. Let's get on to the tutorial. Argo improvements. Can the Argo be improved? From her current state, absolutely. In the Star League days, this ship was state-of-the-art. Now she's a shell of her former glory. With time and sea bells, though, there are plenty of ways I can upgrade her. It's about increasing efficiency, as your executive officer Darius is so fond of saying, time is money. And he says that a lot, you know. Okay, we have a lot of upgrades to go through. Let's go through them one at a time. So tell me about systems and support upgrades. Systems and support upgrades are fundamental to returning the Argo to her former glory. They're foundational. I can do some basic upgrades to improve performance in a few areas, but without improvements to systems and support, you're limited in how far you can go with upgrades. Okay, so that's good to know. So this is the cap to further upgrades. All right, combat and deployment upgrades. Combat and deployment upgrades come in 3 flavors. Those that increase our mech bay capacity, those that improve mech repair and refit speed, and those that intensify mech warrior training. Increasing mech bay capacity means more battle mechs ready for immediate deployment. It takes time and sea-bills to pull mech chassis out of storage and refit them with weapons and equipment. More mech bay capacity means less downtime. If your lance gets banged up on a mission and needs weeks of repair time, you won't be able to take another contract unless you have mechs in reserve. Improving your repair and refit speeds gets your battle mechs out of the mech bay and back on the battlefield where they can be earning us money. Okay, that stuff's just self-explanatory. Okay, tell me about personnel and medical upgrades. Just like the battle mechs, your mech warriors will need to be patched up from time to time. Upgrading the Argo's medical facilities means getting your people back to work quicker. There's a display of our medical bay's efficiency and medical points on your travel display under the finances and crew morale readouts. So you should probably take a look at that. The higher medical rating, the faster your mech warriors will heal. Okay. Can I upgrade more than one system at the same time? Sorry, Commander, no can do. The rule is one update at a time, and I wrote it for a reason. I am the only one qualified to oversee this work, and if I spread myself too thin, bad things could happen. Extinction level things. Well, for us, at least. Alright. So I think that's going to be a lot of what we need to know. We could find out some personal information about her, but I think I may save that for another video. I think we're going to get onto the upgrading here, so let's take a look at that. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to the ship upgrade screen. All right, so systems and support. So she mentioned this is kind of our cap to going with for future upgrades. Combat and deployment's going to be mech bays, things like that, and then personal and medical. She didn't really say outside the med bays what the other stuff did. So I see recreation here. I'm guessing that improves morale. Yeah, allows the mech warriors to bond as a team. So let's just click on that, see what happens. Yeah, it gives you +1 morale. All right, so we have the purchase price. We have the average cost. I'm guessing, yeah, it just says the average cost this upgrade will incur per month. So that's a monthly cost, okay. And then how many days it will take. That's a description. And then we get a little bit of a dialogue from somebody. I've just had to chase another card game out of the mess hall so the staff could clean up, Commander. The crew needs somewhere to relax. That isn't also where we're trying to serve meals. Okay. So what's up here? Again, these are things that are going to allow for future upgrades. So I don't know, is yellow meaning we already have it? Let's click on one to find out. Yeah, installed. So the mech bay supports up to 6 battle mechs ready for battle. That's something we already have. And we get +2 tech points. I don't know if that's something we already had or not. I didn't really pay too much attention to what our tech points were before we got the Argo. But the Argo's mech bay is vast, spacious, and meant to be entirely managed by complex automation. Currently, 6 of the 18 total mech cubicles are powered and in working order, and almost none of the automation. Okay. So the second mech bay here, I cannot purchase. And I don't know what we would need to do that. Ah, right here. So we need repaired power conduits to be able to do this. All right. And what would this do? This would increase us to 12 battle mechs, so that would double, and then +3 tech points, so we'd gain 1 more or less. Maybe, or maybe it would add another 3 onto that. If it did, then I would have to see where we are and kind of figure that out. Okay, the repaired power conduits allow 6 more mech cubicles. I'm not going to read this yet because we can't even do it. But we get an idea of what we can do here. So, and then these things, repair and refit, I'm going to guess that is to increase our tech points, right? Yeah, so we get more tech points by doing that. So this is, I'm guessing, repairing the automated systems that they mentioned earlier. Yeah, so you have systems of movable walkways. So, okay. And some of these are grayed out because we don't have the power conduits yet. Yeah, okay. So all of these need power conduits. Now, we have other things here. So we have power conduits. That's the first thing I'm noticing because it's under power system. We don't have improved power conduits because obviously we need repair power conduits. I'm going to guess more things pop up as you move through these unlocks. We also have structure. So not sure what we need that for yet. So far, it's power conduits for everything, but more than likely, as I said, this will expand, possibly. And drive systems, so far there's nothing there, nothing for the med bay. And habitat pods. What would that do if we upgraded it? Ah, okay, it would increase the size of our barracks. So normally we have 8 mech warriors. This would double that. Okay. So of the systems that I could do now, it would be between like things like the recreation, the repair and refit, and the power systems. And right now, probably repair and refit makes the most sense because let's go ahead and take a look at that finance thing real quick. I just want to see where that is. Okay, looking around. Not seeing it over here anywhere. Oh, here it is. Okay. So we have 5 of those points and 7 of those points. I don't know if it tells me exactly what the point, how many points you have, what it means, but it looks like we have more medical than we have mech tech at the moment. Okay. And if we look at our list of what we've got going on right now, we've got a fair number of repairs and things going on. So let's take a look again at the upgrades and see what kind of costs and time frame we're looking at. I think we have enough money to afford it. But we have to think of time frame here. So this takes 20 days and it's going to cost an average cost. This is, you know, fairly substantial a month. And then we have the purchase of 270,000 that we can afford. The problem is by the time it would be finished, we'd be done with 2 of our mechs and only have the 1 left. So, I mean, yeah, it'd be good for the future. So, okay, recreation is only 10 days and we get +1 morale. I personally would say that this is maybe not as high of a priority. The power system 10 days, and it seems fairly cheap to do. Well, I think we do the repair and refit because I think we'd have more substantial benefit early. So let's go ahead and purchase this, 20 days, and go ahead and do that.
All right,
See.
I'll get the team on it right away.
Okay, work on the repair scaffolding upgrade has begun. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at that. Okay, as I thought, it's on a separate schedule to your mechs. So this will be done when the Centurion is also finished. Okay, well, I think this is enough of a look at the ship. I think we're going to go ahead and wrap up this video here. So we were looking at some story things. We're getting our repairs done. We're figuring out how the ship works and on the upgrades and all that. And I think we've done that. So I hope you guys have enjoyed. This is Mouse Gunner signing out.